What's up, guys? Welcome into the DBP. That was gross, wasn't it? The Downbeat podcast. It is a personal bucket list guest. It's DANI FILTH of Cradle of Filth, an icon. I'll be honest with you, most of the episode is me gushing. I've probably wanted to speak to this guy for, I think he knew as well. I think maybe it's a bit cringe, who knows? I've wanted to speak to DANI FILTH since I was about 13. So it was a really good chat. I wanted to ask him, you know, all the normal stuff, but also like, is your house weird? What's with all the collabs? They've got an upcoming collab with Ed Sheeran. We have an amazing story about that. Great guest, great guy. Really appreciate him taking the time. Iconic band. Before we get started, I want to let you know we have a Patreon, patreon.com/the downbeat. On it, you can get ad-free versions of the episodes. You can get early access to the episodes. The episode comes out on a Monday. You got it on a Friday. You also get early access to pretty much anything I do, merchandise, anything like that, tickets to live shows, stuff like that. Patreon.com/the downbeat. Lowest tier is £1. Highest tier is £3. I don't really know my worth, or I'm not worth anything. Check it out. Speaking of merch, we have wonderful merch at www.downbeat.at, so it spells downbeat. We got luxury streetwear designed by musicians, for musicians, or anyone. Custom made, 2 locations. One ships from the UK, one ships from the US. Check it out. This episode, as ever, is brought to you by the wonderful people at Displate. Do you live in a storage container? Do you live in just a blank wall? Either you can't, just a blank wall. Do you live in a blank place and you can't make holes in the wall because of your landlord, or you just don't know how to do it because you were coddled as a child and you don't have any DIY skills? Most of us don't. Okay. Displate make metal posters. They mount on the wall with a magnet. There's no drilling. There is no making holes in the wall. There's no breaking stuff. There's none of that. You just affix the protective leaf, then the magnet, then any display of your choosing. I've got Sweet Akira one. We've got Downbeat ones. I've got Gojira one. There's bands, there's music, there's movies, there's everything you could ever want. Stick it into the search bar at displate.com and just find yourself a wicked poster in 3 different sizes. Listeners of the podcast can get a whopping 22% off 1 to 2 displays, or 33% off 3 or more by going to displate.com/the downbeat and use the code downbeat. It's DANI FILTH of Cradle of Filth, icon, on the Downbeat podcast. DANI FILTH, legend.
Greetings.
Welcome to the Downbeat.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thank you for coming. A literal legend in that chair.
You captured me.
I did capture. I literally came and captured you. I heard a bit of sound check. It sounded unreal.
Yeah, it's all right. We're kind of getting into the flow of being back out on tour now. We've got a bit of a new crew, which is always a new monitor engineer and lighting.
Oh, new monitor engineer.
Yeah, I know, I was scared. Can I say shitless?
Yeah, you can say.
Right, okay, shitless.
The only one you can't say is the word that you put on the back of a t-shirt.
Oh, okay. All right.
We can bleep it.
No, I'll be wanting to say it. yeah, so, no, it's going well. Long story short.
No fights with the monitor engineer.
No, not yet. A couple of shouts.
It's got to be the worst job.
It really has, yeah.
No one likes you, ever.
He's actually a very likeable chap.
Oh, good.
I don't know how long that will last.
Good for him. Glasgow. You've got a checkered history with Glasgow. I don't know if you remember.
Have we?
Yeah. The Lord Prov.
I thought you meant like fights or something.
No,
I
think the Lord Provost, I think they call him.
Whoever he is. Yeah.
He denounced you. His name's Alex Mosson. I don't know if you remember him by name.
Not by name, no.
I'm a big Cradle of Filth fan, by the way. just so you know.
That was a long time ago, wasn't it?
It was a
99, something like that.
I think
2001.
He was 99 to 2003, so it was in between there.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it was around that time. He called you, I think, sick and obscene.
Oh, wow.
and you used it on maybe a live DVD?
Probably, yeah.
As like the
back
quote
of it,
at
yeah,
the top.
quote, yeah.
The quote at the top, I remember seeing it in Kerrang. But what I was going to ask you, have you ever, because obviously you've had a fair few people not happy with your music, including him. Have you had any like memorable encounters with protesters?
No, strangely enough, you'd think deep South America where you're heading to,
Yep.
would be all placards, you know, and banners and, you know, the devil has taken over the music, whatever. One guy, I think, outside a complex, you know, and I don't think he came for us. And the same with Russia. When we were touring in Russia, we were literally running parallel with Cannibal Corpse, and we did a massive tour back then. It was like 19 shows. Ended up North Korea. And they were touring at the same time. And 2 of the shows had to be cancelled or redirect. One of them got cancelled, but it turned out the truck carrying the PA turned over on the way there. And the second one just got redirected to a small club we couldn't play. So we just ended up doing like acoustics. Yeah, he says, not doing anything toward it. And the signing or whatever. Because the guy was fearful that the police would shut him down. They didn't even turn up or anything.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Cannibal Corpse were like every single show they were having gyp for.
It's funny.
But no, I don't know why. We did get arrested at the Vatican, but that was our fault for turning up there wearing...
What did you do?
Well, actually, it was Kerrang's fault. They came out on the Cruelty tour, and it was like one of the big first shows there. We had Napalm Death supporting, and they said, we've got a photographer, we want to do a bit of a story. So we'll take you into, and we'll film you against, you know, some sites.
Yeah.
We're thinking, you know, outside the Colosseum, that kind of thing. Not some. Is it St. Peter's Square?
I don't know. One of the most holy places on earth, though.
Yeah, driven thing from my memory. But anyway, that being said, I do remember it. So there was completely empty, and then we were taking these photos and what have you, and armed police just came out from nowhere, surrounded us with guns and like, you know, machine guns, and talking very excitedly. There's one guy who could speak English. He was trying to explain why everybody was so fucking angry. It wasn't the Jesus of the shirt. It wasn't the... I had this cheeky Camden I Love Satan t-shirt on.
Yeah, I know exactly the one.
Yeah. It was 98.
Yeah, late 90s.
But they're more offended at our keyboardist was dressed up as a vicar, like a priest. That was his thing.
Yeah.
Apparently that carries a death sentence or something.
Really?
Not death sentence, but...
Close to
imprisonment in the Vatican, which is, you know,
I mean,
a state unto itself. But luckily this guy had some semblance of what we were talking about, and apparently his cousin was a fan of metal in general, knew that we were playing with Napalm Death outside the city, thought, well, if we detain them here, there's going to be a bit of a mini riot over there, 3,000 odd people. Let us go. But it wasn't without a lot of, you know.
That's amazing. I wonder if when they let you go, I don't know, wouldn't have been Google back then. I was going to say they Googled you. Ask Jeeves, what was it, 98?
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if they found out later on, like, we could have done him. We had him right there, the T-shirt guy.
Ask Christ.
AskChrist.com. Malignant Perfection is awesome. I'm a big fan.
Cool.
I'm a big fan.
I just saw the Justin Hawkins thing the other day. He did a big podcast just on that song. Got a bit muso in it, like playing along with it and everything. But it was generally really fun. Funny.
What's your thoughts on him?
He's a really nice bloke, actually. He said, I remember Danny. And I was thinking, he's just making this weird story up. And then it turns out it was a nightclub I used to frequent. And his little tale would ring true for me being, you know, relatively drunk at the time. But it doesn't mention anything else like, you know,
I like his
partying with him, you know, in the toilets at...
Go on. You want to mention it? You can mention it.
The forum at Metal Hammer Awards years ago. You know what I mean? When it was a thing.
Partying in the toilets. What on earth were you doing in there?
Just having a roller disco, a 70s roller disco. That's what I meant. Sorry, did I not make myself clear?
That's absolutely fine. The song, what I wanted to ask you, I didn't want to go too much into it about, like, you know, boring press stuff. However, your inspiration for lyrics, you've previously, you know, taken on literary and like horror movie stuff.
Yeah. What's
the story with this one?
The new album.
And is it horny? No, particularly the new song. Does it come out of horniness?
Does it?
Yeah.
It does a little bit. Yeah, I think everything comes a bit out of sex, and there's like a marriage of sex and death.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, I guess the new album isn't themed as such, because everybody now expects us, like they do with King Diamond, that every record we do is going to have this overarching theme or be a full, soundtrack to something. Admittedly, we have done 4 or 5 conceptual records. But this one isn't. It's more just recently as a band, we decided like we're going to write songs, and there's a couple on the album that are a little bit more long-winded and more like what we used to do, a bit dissection-esque or whatever. But yeah, of late we've just been really trying to write songs that people can remember and that we enjoy really playing, and really, not that we haven't done that before. But it's just been a thing where we've concentrated more on the music. With a concept album, it's really difficult to, because like each one's a chapter, and at some point or another, there's going to be the joining bit, to make it all make sense. Because otherwise, you're like going, "What the fuck is this about?" That's why so many people think, "Oh my god, this band are great. They've done a concept record," and the band's going, "Have we?" I have no fucking idea. Oh, yes, of course. Yeah,
that's what I mean. When you do a concept record, are you starting with lyrics or are you starting with music?
That's the hard thing, because I always let the band play around with music until we get like 2 or 3 songs that you go, right, this is a direction. It's not just aimless,
And then
fuckery.
How do you then, like what you're saying, like obviously a part of it is the climax of the story. How do you then like arrange the songs so the right bit of music is there?
Oh, how'd you do a 500-piece puzzle with a Jawa? You know what I mean?
Does it take a long time?
Yeah.
Does it take like before the last record? There's a 4-year gap.
But there was COVID happened. We actually recorded.
You still write some songs.
Well, we did. We were in the studio recording that album during COVID, and it was very nice. It was too. It was only me and the studio engineer could go there. A couple of times had roadblocks, but it was fine. We live out in the countryside, and every night I just bought a new car, so I'd drive purposely
Audi, by the way,
completely the opposite side, just so I could drive back through the town, because it was like Silent Hill.
Nice.
There was no one around. It was eerily quiet, like zombie apocalypse.
Did you take any flights during COVID?
On the tail end, yeah.
Oh, it was glorious. There was no one there.
Yeah.
The only people that were there had like a visa that meant they could go. So everyone knew, give some space at the baggage thing. When your group number's called, I loved it. And then immediately after, it's just fucked.
Back to normal. I know, yeah. We got to America on it, and that was odd, because every show had to have a COVID test. Yeah,
I was there as well.
And then there were both support bands. They contracted COVID. So they both had to leave the tour.
First tour back.
And we were playing New York, and everybody had to wait around till literally about 10:30, 11 for us to go on. They were like a bit miffed. It just happened just there and then.
Did you get it on the tour?
No. Our guitarist did. When we got to Canada, we had to leave him behind. So we had one guitar, and then occasionally our guitar tech would decide he'd get up and do another song.
Occasionally, just pop up.
Well, he just occasionally. We told him to.
Yeah, I got COVID on the first tour back, and I was so unwell that I was like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. I was fucked.
Really?
I'm back.
Touch. Oh my god, is that real wood?
I don't know. You know what, Danny? I've got no fucking idea.
Touch wood. Because I only got it once, and it was like really fucking mild. Super mild.
Oh, touch some actual wood. They're fucking Lars Ulrich's drumsticks. They're not even fucking wood. He plays metal ones. He can't do it. Yeah, made of metal. So you mentioned you live near. Was it Scott Atkins? Scott
Atkins, yeah. Well, near his studio, anyway.
So did Scott do the new stuff as well?
Yeah, Scott's pretty much done everything we've done since 2012. Yeah. Even my other band.
He's a great mixer.
Yeah, he's good. Just used to him, he gets the best out of us, and he's like this. Go right. We're doing another album. It's going to set. We'll do exactly the same thing. It's always like, no, we'll do this. We'll try this. We'll mix it up a bit.
Yeah.
And again, new songs. That's the thing about a new album. It has different songs on it.
Different songs. Different. Do you have to like go and read loads of books? Like, because you've always got like this song's about this. This song's about this. Do you have to like just go, I've got to write some fucking lyrics. I've got to go and read a book. I've always read a book I've always wanted to read.
No, I just download Audible. No. I just read generally. I'm not a bookworm as such. And actually, to be honest, now I've learned to cook a bit. I have been listening to Audible.
You're cooking. What are you cooking?
Hello Fresh.
I loved it.
Yeah. My girlfriend introduced me to it, whom I met during the pandemic, and since then I was like, wait, because what I hate about cooking is like spending a day looking for the bloody ingredients.
It's an ad now, Danny. You're doing an ad. They're not even fucking paying for
Fresh. It's fucking amazing.
We still need to talk about that fucking song.
Malignant Perfection.
Yeah,
yes.
I want to know what inspired the lyrics.
Well,
Because
generally, I wanted to write a song that it was so catchy, and I thought I want to combine something with something that people would put on at a certain time. And I was like, we're not writing a Christmas song. That was fucking stupid.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair,
Halloween was, because we wrote it last year, was coming up, and it just got that vibe from the song. I just wanted to sort of embody the spirit of it, give it a bit, like say, a little bit of sexiness about it as well. And because it was so catchy, something that when people are like, because I have a playlist for Halloween, and generally most of the songs got Halloween in the title, ironically enough. So
King Diamond, as mentioned earlier. Hey, what else is on your Halloween playlist?
Halloween by The Misfits, Halloween 2 by Sam Hain.
Typo Negative.
Dead Kennedy's Halloween. Typo Negative, definitely some soundtracks.
There's about three Typo Halloween songs. There's one with Halloween in the title. What is it? Halloween in Heaven?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And then there's
Black Number
Hallows
One.
Eve.
Well, Black Number One's pretty much Halloweeny, isn't it?
Oh, I've got a question for this, but we can go straight into it because we're on topic. Prior to Nymphetamine, you did a tour with Typo Negative.
Yeah, they supported us. Believe that. Fucking hell.
Typo Negative is my favourite band of all time. So, number one, I just want to know if you've got any cool stories from that.
Yeah, loads.
Have you got anything that pops out?
Yeah. Well, the thing was, we headlined the B stage that year of the American Ozfest, so we had that. And that was all of summer. That was like 10 glorious alcohol-soaked weeks under the American sun, you know. It was amazing. And then we had that to finish the year. So it was like Moonspell, Typo, and us.
What a fucking lineup.
It was amazing. And
there's so many hot goth girls there. I'm sorry.
There were.
Respectfully.
Yeah, sorry. There were. Two stories that stick. Well, three stories, but I won't bore you with it. Kenny was... Oh, fuck it. Yeah, he didn't bring me back. Anyway, Kenny Hickey wasn't supposed to be drinking. He was like, oh, no, you can't drink. You know what you like when you drink. They're all, I think there was one day where we were led to believe that Pete's mum was ill and that he'd flown. And I was like, there's an airport in Grand Rapids, is there? He'd flown back to New York overnight.
Right.
And that's why they weren't doing the gig. In actual fact, he was crashed down the back of their bus and he'd had a bender. And just didn't want to do it. Yeah, that was the day that I didn't realise we were doing the gig, and I said I know we're not doing the gig, so I'll be in the bar around the corner, and literally the tour manager and the crew all go, without even listening to me.
Yeah.
So I was halfway to being half cut when the support band Moonspell came in, all with their makeup still on, and I was like, "What the fuck are you doing there?" They said, "You are playing in about 20 minutes." I was like, it was awful, fucking awful gig. But no, Kenny Hickey, I think we were in Ohio, and he wasn't supposed to be drinking. And one of the band said to me, Kenny's going, do me a favor while you're there. I know you get on. Can you just take him away from the merch stand? Because he's really embarrassing everybody. And also, there's a bottle of whiskey. Try and get it off him and hide the fucking thing. So I do both things. Engage him in conversation or whatever. I have to paint a picture here. This was, it was snowing. So there was ice in the car park outside this gig. So while the nightclub's going on afterwards, which is the same venue, I'm there talking to him, introducing something, grab the bottle from him, or, take it, have a swig, and then surreptitiously go and hide it up on the bus. I didn't realise he'd seen me do it. And I came back down, and next thing I know, I'm just lying in this puddle going, oh, fucking hell. He just chinned me. So I got up and we had this massive fight, or it looked like a massive fight to everybody else. Everybody was like fucking horrified. And there wasn't much of it. They split us up and whatever, and don't think anything of it. Fucking fights with people all the time. So next day, we're in Detroit, and Pete comes to me and he goes, Danny, I'm so sorry about the shit that Kenny did last night. Yo, man, it's so shit. Fuck me. I'm going to have a personal word with that motherfucker. And anyway, I wanted to carry on doing the voice.
I loved it, but
We then decided, we were having a bit of a laugh about things. And he said, I've got a dressing room upstairs full of hot chicks and industry types and whatever. Let's go in there and really shake things up. So basically, we just, this room fucking froze. We kicked the door in, me and him, pretending we were having a fight. It's like he's 8 foot tall, like 5'5", like looking like we were like kicked the furniture and everything. The whole room just fucking froze. And even when we stopped doing it and just went, da-da, people were still like, what the fuck?
horrified by it.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. And it didn't really engage too much with Pete. He was a bit of a loner a lot of the time. But if you got him, because a bottle of wine to him was like, you know, a little mini bottle.
Yeah, giant man.
Yeah. So he'd be there with a bottle of wine in hand, slugging away and that. And he'd probably call you over and have a little chat with you.
I mean, it's quite an interaction you had storming through that room.
Yeah, it was funny.
I got into Typo literally the day he died because I was like a kid, and then he died and it was all over Kerrang, and I was like, oh, I should probably check this out. And then I checked it out. I was like, oh my God, it's so fucking good. Like, I'll never get to see him.
Well, I was a fan of Carnivore during my thrash metal days. And then when the Typo thing came out, I didn't really, they did a couple of records and it didn't really strike me at all. And then back in 93, when we were recording The Principle of Even Way Flesh, we went up to Academy Studios in Dewsbury, and our guy that was like our record company guy came with us, and he had this 4-track of Bloody Kisses, which I think was We Don't, the one that sounds like Twisted Sister, because there's like loads of different 4. That one, Summer Breeze, Black Number One, and Christian Woman, but edits.
Wow.
And yeah, it was so fresh and so new that literally there was a couple of records that just became the soundtrack to us recording.
That's amazing. On a 4-track. Do you think that spilled into your lyrics? Touring with them?
No, well, it may have influenced Nymphetamine, the album, a little bit.
That's what I was thinking. Because it's sexy.
But they were on Life Is Killing Me at that point. That was that tour. And they had a really cool, they were a support band, but they had a really fucking cool, simplistic stage show, which was amazing, where they were all in prison uniforms. Yeah. And they had like a little tower with a searchlight on it. And I think two towers, 2 searchlights, and you know, fake barbed wire around things. It looked really cool. Yeah, it looked really cool.
I'm gutted. I never got to see him. Speaking of Nymphetamine, while we're on that, I've got 2 questions. This is just me. If you don't like my questions, fuck you, because this is me asking someone that I respect what I want to know. Nymphetamine Fix was Grammy nominated.
Yeah.
I've got 2 questions, which is the press agents are going to hate it because they're supposed to be talking about new stuff. But I just want to know, because I can't find it anywhere, what was the reason between having, if you don't know, if you're listening, there's Nymphetamine Overdose, which is the long song.
Yeah.
Fucking rips. And then there's Nymphetamine Fix, which is just a shorter version, or it's a abridged version?
It's just the bit in the middle taken out because they wanted it for radio. And we didn't
what it was?
We didn't want to edit it, so we took it out. And because the main song's like a triptych, it's got like 2 wings either side. So
heavy, sexy, heavy. Heavy, sexy, heavy. And you took sexy out, got nominated for a Grammy. Did you go to the Grammys?
No, I was in India. My mum used to rent a house, a villa in Goa for like 6 months when she was going through a hippie phase. And we went out for Christmas. And I remember even seeing there's like a paper out there, and obviously a newspaper. And there was a journalist who, it was on the front page, and he'd gone to the Grammys and he'd voted for Nymphetamine, and that was the thing. It had a picture of us on that, and we were like, "Oh my God, fuck! It's happening today."
Wait, while you were in India?
While we were in India, yeah. This
was
is like
in a paper in India.
Yeah,
while you were there. God,
yeah,
that's got to be like, "Oh, mum, look at this."
No. Where she found it, and yeah, it was just we kind of got beaten by. It was us and Killswitch were up for like, and Motorhead. And Motorhead were doing a cover of Metallica's Whiplash. It wasn't even a proper song.
Yeah.
I mean, all the industry types went, "Oh, we know Motorhead, yeah."
Yeah, that's what happens every single fucking year.
It's kind of what this guy intimated in his It's very Indian way.
Yeah.
They say things like turn turtle
What does that
and
mean?
soup turned upside down.
Turn turtle.
But if a car gets hit on the road, they say it's turned turtle.
Turn turtle. I mean,
And they
it
will
makes
say
sense.
super sleuth instead of detective. So
That's a
everyone's
weird
su-
observation.
it just sticks out.
Super sleuth.
Super sleuth. It's great, isn't it? It's like,
That's fucking
almost
funny.
really expect a gadget.
You mentioned your girlfriend
Yeah.
twice now. I've mentioned sexy lyrics. She a muse?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say. I wrote She Is a Fire about her, actually.
That's what I was going to ask. Are any, because there's a lot of like, sexy's doing it a disservice. There's a lot of, I mean, it's sexy, but there's a lot of like
Erotica.
erotica and adoration in there.
Yeah.
And I was wondering.
Yeah, I
if,
would say. She's a very sexy lady.
Nice. Good to have a muse.
Yeah, it is, actually.
I've got a bit of a
Especially
muse.
at my age.
I've got a bit of a muse, but I can't really write lyrics, so I don't really know what to do. It just makes me work harder so I can buy her
You
things.
should start a podcast.
Yeah, that's what I've done, Danny. That's exactly what I've done. While we're on the subject of recordings, anyway, just go and check out. If you don't know Cradle of Filth, just go and check it out. Legendary, iconic, just fucking sick. Stop. I'm gonna suck him off at the end of this.
No, I hope not.
What I want to know, I know.
Off camera,
You could write a song.
please.
You could write a song about it. That could be the next thing.
Everything's
Hey,
inspiration.
it's the most. Anti-Christian thing you could do. Really?
Really? Actually, anyway.
You could top that.
Enough of that.
You ever pissed on a church? That's not one of my
I used
questions.
to live next to a church, actually, like literally next door to a very famous church in Suffolk. And the only thing I didn't like about it was Sunday mornings, because obviously fucking clatter of bells waking you from your slumber, your eternal rest.
You didn't like it. Do you sleep?
No,
like
I
this?
loved. I
actually
absolutely loved
imagine
it.
you sleep like this.
Yeah, I sleep more with my hands buried. Like literally, if I sleep around my girlfriend's house, I should hack my own arm off because I end up and she's sleeping on it.
Oh, that's cute though.
Not really. It's painful.
That's cute. I'm still going to get onto these questions that I have on music, but while we're on the house thing, irrespective of our conversation in the car, I want to know: is your house like mad spooky?
Yes.
I've seen. I follow you on Instagram. I've seen in the background. You've never really done like a house tour. I've seen in the
I
background.
don't want
like,
to, you know.
Yeah, good for you.
I'm away from home
I'm
too
like-
much. And then people are really sort of like judgmental. Why did you do that? I was like, fuck
Oh,
off.
I love all that shit.
It's a bit of a museum, I must admit. Very tidy museum, but a museum.
You got
Yeah.
anything really weird in there?
Dalek?
A Dalek,
Yeah, black Dalek. Dalek sec. Yeah, the speaks and everything.
full size.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Okay.
Where is it? What room? Bedroom.
Garden room. Garden room.
God, what's a garden room?
A room next to a garden.
Conservatory.
No, it's just like.
It's a room that's next to a garden.
I haven't got much of a garden.
Right.
To be honest, it's a townhouse that used to be other houses, and they raffled off my fucking land.
What else is in the Dalek's room?
Uh,
In my head, you got suits of armor. You got like wacky.
I've got a couple of full size sarcophagus.
Oh, Rick
Also,
Owens
tougher
vibe.
guys.
Really? Where'd you get them from? Where are you buying a sarcophagus?
I bought it ages ago from Camden. It's obviously not a real one.
That
but
little shop in the lock.
might have been.
I want to buy. There's like I know exactly the shop that has all that weird stuff in it.
Yeah.
It's still there. There's like a full size samurai armor,
Yeah.
and I want to buy it so much.
I reckon that was a place. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely the same place. We're the same, you and I.
Yeah, just lots of statues and tribal masks, which I pick up all around the world.
Awesome. You
Yeah.
never think about letting anyone in for a little?
No.
No, personal.
My house is on the market and nobody knew. I mean, that's why I didn't sell it. I've got a serial killer painting. It's John Wayne Gacy, really rare one.
By him,
By him, yeah.
physically drawn by him.
Yeah, painted, whatever he's done with it. It's terrible. I mean, it's not.
Of course it is. He was busy doing other stuff.
Well, this is why I was in prison. It's got the prison release form in it. It's got a bit of his blood mixed in with it, but it's of the Universal monsters, although you wouldn't really know that. It's like a child's done it.
Wow.
And then the Jason mask in the middle. Apparently it's really rare because he normally does smaller pictures.
He did the Jason mask.
No, he just drew it in the middle. It's like Universal monsters.
Right.
The Mummy, Dracula,
Oh, he had
Wolfman,
He had.
Frankenstein.
He likes a bit of horror, did he? Who knew?
Well, that's
knew?
a turn up for the books.
Yeah, that's pretty. I mean, R.I.P. to everyone involved, but that's kind of cool. That's got enough time's passed for me to say that's cool, isn't it? I'm cancelled now again. Great. You briefly mentioned the principles of evil made flesh.
Yeah.
You have, and I am very thankful for this, but I'd like to know your thought process behind it. You've previously remixed songs from that, and you did Cruelty Remistressed, which was also remixed.
Yeah, that needed remixing.
Because in my opinion, like when I see a remaster, I'm always like, that's a fucking money grab. Like rarely is anything really need remastered. Like how many times has the Black Album been remastered?
They remastered a record I really like, Bathory, Under the Sun, Black Mark, and everybody listens to. It doesn't matter where you go to. You listen to this one and you go, fuck it, it's unlistenable. Yeah. It is unlistenable. The drums have got so much reverb on them. It renders the record rubbish. Yeah. Everybody listens to that record. There's original pressing of it. It sounds fucking incredible. A vinyl. I think you could probably track it down on not to buy, but to listen to on YouTube. But I don't know who the fuck did that. But it's become a staple because that's all anybody knows. And that's when it's shit. When somebody does a bad job on a fucking... Yeah,
especially a remaster.
But we just took it. We were able to get the masters and we just reverentially... I don't know. I think it's...
You're the wordsmith.
Yeah, it's a new word I just came up with. We painstakingly brought it back to life.
So nothing was retracked. It was just
no. It was just all
remixed. Because I love it
from scratch.
I agree, it needed remixing, and I love it when people do a remix that needed to be done, and not just a money grab. But like. And
God, it was a money grab as well. Of course.
Really?
No, I'm just joking.
No, I was going to say, because you would have just remastered it.
Yeah, well, it was painstaking. That's what, after time, we spent more time on...
You got any plans to do any of the others?
Not as yet. I'd like to do Midian.
Yes, thank God you said that.
I'd like to do Midian, but I'm not sure if the masters are still a thing, because there was a fire at the our publishing company, which stored, and I can't remember if they disappeared or not. I'd have to look into that.
Retrack it. Go through the whole thing again. Just make Midian again.
2000. Geez, I was a different person then.
I tell you what I don't know, speaking of Midian. The voice at the beginning. It's not Christopher Lee, is it? Of her Ghost in the Fog.
No, that's Doug Bradley. Pinhead, yeah.
Oh, amazing.
He's been on 4 of our records, I think.
Really?
Maybe 5,
anytime it's spooky voice, it's literally Pinhead.
Most of it. Yeah, not all of it. Some of it.
How did you get Pinhead? Pinhead's number? Do you get it off John Wayne Gacy?
Well, he's a good friend now, actually. He's been to my house because we needed to track an extra part from him. So I said, we haven't got to just bring it to my house, and I converted my
garden room,
my office into a makeshift recording studio
for Pinhead.
Yeah, which is kind of weird because I had pictures of Pinhead on the wall, which he'd signed before.
That's amazing.
No, it was good fun. He's a really jovial, nice guy. He lives in America now, in Pittsburgh of all places.
Did you ever see? I mean, don't talk to me about moving to America to be weird somewhere.
At least it's not Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. No offense, Pittsburgh. Good bridge though. That bridge that's in Batman, perfect. Still watch a bunch of horror films?
Absolutely. You know what? I got out of it for a while, but recently, I think mainly because, like I said, we talked pre-talk amble about girlfriend breaking a leg and me sort of spending a lot of time looking after her and whatever. Watched a lot of horror movies recently, and I can name some really good ones. I think this year has been...
That's what I want. I want some recommendations.
Okay, Terrifier 3.
I haven't seen 1 or 2. Should I be doing this?
No, it doesn't matter. There's a bit of a backstory, but it doesn't really count. I really liked Abigail. Oh God! Now, when I say there's hundreds of movies, I can't remember any of them. Late Night with the Devil was really good.
Loved it.
Yeah, I didn't really want to watch it because the premise didn't sound great, so I left it to the last minute. And I thought I've got a few. I packed really early for Australia when we went on tour recently, and I was like, I've got some hours free. I can't believe it. The night before. So I watched that, and then ironically, when I got on the plane, it suggests some things for you if you've flown Qantas for a while, or whatever. And that was the first film he suggested to me.
Qantas knows that you're spooky as fuck. Qantas were just like, yeah, this fucker will love this.
And they had it on there. That was really
I loved it. I loved how 80s it looked and felt and everything, and the ending was cool.
Yeah, it was amazing. I loved it. There's loads of them, but of course, I wasn't overly keen on that Nick Cage film that everybody was what was it called? Not Daddy Long Legs.
Long Legs. No, I haven't seen it yet. I've seen Divided. People saying it's the best film ever, and people saying it sucks.
No, it really wasn't. I'm fucking love my horror to bits, and it wasn't. It kind of gets that way, and you think, wow, this is really cultist, and it's shot really well, and very original and weird, and then suddenly it just sort of like third quarter, it just descends into the predictability factor. The Book of Revelations, this, you just go, oh, snore fest.
And you're like, I did that.
And then it just ends in a way where you just don't feel like satiated by it. Do you know what I mean?
What do you think of Hereditary?
That was great. There's a few films that have come along of that ilk. Of said Midsummer, and then Mandy.
Mandy was great. Mandy's score is amazing as well.
Yeah, I've actually got that. I'm a massive soundtrack fan. That's my thing.
Same.
That's my thing, soundtracks.
Yeah.
With the turn of Coppola's Dracula, I also liked soundtracks. I never bought them before then, like Star Wars and stuff like that. And then after that was a turning point. Once for Coppola's, the Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah.
After that, fucking got hundreds now.
Like the Dracula soundtrack, unreal. Like the opening scene, all that stuff. When he's
another good film which has got a similar theme. Weird thing was, it was supposed to come out 2 years ago at the cinema, and they buried it. And then it had come out in America, and I just assumed it flopped, which it obviously did. Yeah. Called The Last Voyage of the Demeter, which is the boat that takes Dracula to England.
Oh, amazing! And
it's got a cast of superb. It's so well done. It's proper gothic horror, violent, looks amazing. You know what I mean? It took me 2 years to watch it. You can buy it anywhere. Yeah. I thought they just like. It was like a legal loophole where they had to get rid of it. And I saw that recently. And
how did you see it then if you can't watch it anywhere?
I can't tell you.
DANI FILTH's got a cracked fire stick.
No, I haven't. It was a Blu-ray that somebody gave me.
Oh, so I can't just go and watch that?
Well, because it was an American Blu-ray, but you
have to fucking buy it.
Yeah, well, anyway, you might be able to get it on Amazon now.
That sounds good though. It sounds right on my street.
It was really amazing. I was very surprised. Inner Violent Nature is another good one, bit slow.
I liked it. But I agree.
But good. And there's another one called Beaten to Death, which is fucking sick.
I mean, that sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. The guy gets his eyes put out about 20 minutes into the film and navigates the whole film with all these horrible wounds.
Sounds perfect for me. Have you got a Shudder membership then? I imagine.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
How do you feel about foreign language horror?
Yeah, I don't mind it. Yeah.
Have you watched The Sadness?
No, I have not, no.
It's maybe one of the most violent.
It's a series, is it?
No, it's just it's a Taiwanese movie, and it's like quote unquote zombie. Like, I'm not actually a zombie guy. I don't really like a zombie movie, but like
it's a bit too much of it, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's like I like it when they do it right, like Train to Busan and stuff like that. But this is Taiwanese zombie, but it's basically COVID, but it's like a virus that makes you insanely violent, and they call it kind of like 28 Days Later-ish.
Yeah.
And they call it The Sadness, and it is absolutely horrifically violent.
Oh, I must check it out. Oh, but that's on the list.
It's really great. I'd love to know your thoughts on it.
There were some other really good ones I saw recently. Strange Darling.
What's that?
It's weird. It's a very strange film about this prostitute.
About this darling.
It's about a prostitute and this guy who's a policeman, and it starts off with you thinking that this guy, because there's a serial killer abroad, it's the guy. Everything points to him, and it turns out it's the woman, and she's so fucking weird.
Really?
Yeah, and she gets away from him, but she's really hurt him, so he's come to kill her, and then the other police, it's fucked up.
Violent fucked up? Yeah, that's my shit. Are you looking forward to Nosferatu?
I'm not looking forward to going to see it on Christmas Day when it's released.
I'm going on day one as well.
I know, my friend is. I was like, fucking hell, your mum's going to love you.
I'm doing it. I think I'll be in Nashville. I've got a suitable goth to come and watch it with me.
It's a very strange time to release it. When they released Terrifier 3, I get it, before Halloween, but Terrifier 3 is a Christmas movie. It's just Christmas.
Really?
Yeah,
That's weird. They should have swapped.
Really, yeah.
Should have spoke to each other. Christmas Day, that's kind of cool though, that Robert Eggers thing of it, where he's just like, I don't care, I'm going to
It looks good. It looks really good, but it looks like it's got a lot of elements of other movies in it. Because again, it's just a Dracula story, but set somewhere else. So it looks like it's got the Klaus Kinski original, maybe even a bit of Shadow of the Vampire, which was the thing about the making of.
Yeah.
Which also had, what's his face? Green Goblin guy. William Dafoe.
William Dafoe, yeah.
But it also looks a lot like Coppola's Dracula, a little bit like Frankenstein.
Yeah,
and
it's ticking all the boxes for me.
Sleepy Hollow.
Love Sleepy Hollow.
It's got that kind of vibe to it. But yeah, looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward. I'm going to go watch it. I think it's either Christmas Day
The
or
Substance. Did you see that?
Everyone's been telling me to see it and I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Is it as good as everyone says?
It's amazing, yeah. It's real body horror. I thought it was David Cronenberg.
Yeah, I saw a spoiler. I saw when she's all fucking messed up and I was like, oh, that's so annoying. My fault for not going when it came out.
Yeah.
But I'm stoked on that. You've done some mad collaborations in your time. You've got some mad collaborations coming up. I want to know what's going on with the Ed Sheeran one.
The Ed Sheeran one is done and dusted. We did it like 2 years ago. It was weird because we were planning to do it for about a year and a half.
How'd that come about?
I don't know. I think our managers got in touch with each other somehow. His manager, Stuart, used to listen to Cold Chamber when he was growing up. Ed used to listen. He said that when he did like a vampire thing. I can't remember what bad something.
What, a vampire band?
No, he did a single where he played a vampire.
Oh, I don't know anything about him.
And I think he got asked questions somewhere where it was like, are you into heavy metal? I don't know why. And he said, yeah, I was really into Slipknot and Cradle of Filth. And then this story came out how he was going to come and do his apprenticeship, like for a school thingy, at our studio. But then we decided not to do it. And the truth of it was that we weren't recording an album there at all. We just rehearsed. But the guy kept telling everyone that we were to get his studio some money. Apparently, whether he decided not to do it or the vacancy wasn't open, he went to work at the local council, Ipswich Borough Council.
Oh, he's local to you?
Yeah. So he went to work for Ipswich Borough Council and had such a shit time there, evidently, that he decided, no, I'm going to pursue my own music. Whereas I think if he'd come to work with us, it would have been the other way around. He would have been like, I'm going to kill my...
You're responsible for his success.
So apparently they talked and, the chat came around, we should do a collab. It'd be hilarious. And he was like, right up for it. So when he was eventually free and we were free, he just comes to the studio by himself. He didn't even ask, like, are you going to be there with your mums and everything? It's Ed. So we were very respectful in that. It was just me, the producer, and him in our little countryside studio, probably 15 miles away as a crow flies from where he lives. Turns up in his wife's secret Mini, the one he can get out of the house in. On his own, cradle hoodie, guitar on his back. That was it.
He had a cradle hoodie on?
Yeah.
What a legend.
We spent the afternoon recording. He's telling us loads of funny stories, like really lads, really cool, really. And then when we finished, he said, we were like, do you want to go for a pint? He said, well, I'm a bit peckish. So we went to the local pub, at which point
DANI FILTH and Ed Sheeran.
Everybody in the pub, and it's like a very, very rustic, old country pub. Suddenly everybody, all these old dears and that, all knew his mum and they were all flocking over. Oh, must say hello to him. And he'd be like, no idea who that is.
That's so funny.
But it was really cool. The song's great. It just is, we didn't want to release it back then because we were busy with other things. Then he couldn't release it because he was doing a bunch of stuff. So it's just going to come out when it does. We didn't want to put it on the album because we just didn't want to.
So is it a Cradle song featuring Ed Sheeran or is it an Ed Sheeran song featuring DANI FILTH?
No, it's a brand new Cradle of Filth song featuring Ed Sheeran. And a lot of it sounds like Ed Sheeran. He's playing acoustic guitar, he's singing Ed Sheeran. But a lot of it sounds like us. It's a blast beat, scream.
Oh my God.
Ed really pushes himself in it as well.
He does a scream?
No, he does rock vocals. He really goes for a bit of...
What's the lyrics about? Can you give me any juice there?
It's called
Oh,
I can't talk about it because I get in trouble.
You can't talk about the lyrics, you can't talk about anything.
It's about affirmation.
Tell me
affirmation.
if it's horny.
It's always horny. No, it's a bit about sort of self-affirmation.
Nice.
It works. It's a really good song. Only about handful of people. My mum hasn't even heard it.
And then
so anyway, that will come out as and when.
Nice.
And could you imagine he's also, he's probably chasing the Taylor Swift sort of thing,
Well, yeah,
they're very.
He's doing all right, isn't he? Yeah.
He's not doing bad.
He's doing all right. In my head, the fever dream of just you and Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran's in a Cradle hoodie at a country pub, surrounded by old women.
He also shares the my love for fiberglass dinosaurs.
What do you mean fiberglass dinosaurs?
It's like if I have, because I collect weird stuff. It's like if I have a bit more land.
Oh, the big outdoors ones.
Yeah.
Oh, are you going to do it, or you have done it?
No. I've got plans to. When I move into a new house, I was planning for this lake with a giant octopus coming out of it, and then I found out that he's actually got a bunch. He's got like a walk through in his garden where he's just bought loads of fiberglass dinosaurs.
What an insane A thing to bond over, and B, how did that even come up in conversation? I'm just talking. You know, I really like Ed Sheeran. Fiberglass dinosaurs.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure there was a place though, because I'm from Reading. I'm sure there was a place in the south when I was a kid, and they had it was like a park, and it was just all of those. I remember going.
Aren't you not thinking of Isle of Wight and Black Gang Chine?
Maybe it's that. Cause we
did you ever go to it? Yeah, it would have been that.
It's like a fever dream because I must have been like 3 or something. I just remember being like, oh, that's amazing. Didn't quite stick as much for me as it did for you and Ed. But that's awesome.
I just like weird stuff. I'd like a garden full of weird shit.
On,
my garden's full of weird shit anyway.
What's the weirdest thing other than Dalek and other than the John Wayne Gacy painting?
I don't know.
What would you save if there was a fire in Mansion? I'm assuming. I'm just calling it Mansion.
Maison Filth.
Maison Filth is
oh fuck knows. I don't know what I'd go for. Probably an African. I've got a mannequin that's in my bedroom.
Bedroom mannequin.
Yeah, she's like a vampire goddess.
Yes,
called Cleopatra.
God, I love you.
And she looks a lot like my girlfriend, but my girlfriend doesn't. Is like she can go in your office, gives me the willies.
Oh really? Do you have to take her out?
No. Well, yeah, you do with girlfriends every now and then.
No.
So keep them on your side.
I meant like the vampire goddess. Like, you know, does she have to leave the room or does she oversee things?
She doesn't leave the room.
She doesn't leave the room. That's fucking awesome. Is she dressed up like proper goth?
She hasn't got kind of. She hasn't got a huge amount of clothes on. No.
It's fucking so sick. Oh, it's like looking into a mirror. In my head, the vision of you and Ed in this pub is quite a lot like the actual video that you did with Bring Me the Horizon, where you're just in full...
Yeah. You know what was cool about that? Because everybody always says, why the fuck are you doing... You know, you did something with, what's that band? Twisted.
Yeah.
And it was like a sort of Beastie Boys track. It was like half rap, half metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, people would say, well, why aren't you doing it with so and so? Because I like the juxtaposition of like when somebody says, could you do this song? You go, oh, hello.
Yeah.
This will be weird. A weird, strange marriage. And the thing that made it more appealing about the Bring Me the Horizon thing was that my daughter, massive Ollie Sykes fan, like huge.
Yeah.
So I took her up to his place, which was the Drop Dead.
Yeah.
You know, big gaff. And hung out with Ollie for a bit. And then we went to shoot the video, which wasn't, it was kind of like, can we come in and shoot here? It wasn't like deserted. It was a functioning local supermarket in Sheffield. And my daughter is actually in the video shopping for some cheese, I think.
Oh.
And so she was all about that. And then they asked me to do it on stage at All Points East, where they headlined. And obviously she was, in fact, she's VIP whenever they play, Ollie promised. And he's kept to the word, actually.
That's so cute.
But, she's 25. It's not that cute. You're thinking of a 6-year-old kid.
Right, yeah, in my head, she's 13.
But it is cool.
He's one of those people where he transcends like age of fandom.
Yeah, and I think the premise behind that video was he just sort of, which I agree on. He's like, they want me to do a lyric video, and I hate lyric videos. And I like the lyrics, but I fucking hate lyric videos. It's just a cheap excuse.
Yeah.
I want videos. I want to be in a video.
I fucking can't stand lyric videos.
No, it's just fucking...
Never done one.
Well, there was a point when music industry used to make money, and then 2008 onward, bank crashes and whatever, onset of the digital age, etc., etc.
Oh, you got some good before that happened, though.
Absolutely, yeah. But I just missed the record company sending you to, you know, New York. Now it's just all down on the phone.
A supermarket.
I miss the being able to record in a, because they just shut down, even if you've got the money to do it.
Yeah.
A lot of our great works, as people call them, were done in studios where you went to live, you know?
Yeah.
Like Parkgate, it was like being on holiday. We all had our own chalets, you know, stayed up all night partying, blew things up, you know, also recorded an album.
Yeah.
Kind of got in the way at
eventually.
times. Yeah, exactly. Residential studios, and they're just a thing of the past.
We get lucky. We recorded in New Jersey with Will Putney, and his is a residential. And I did, I recently heard Mono. Do you ever do Mono Valley in Wales?
Yeah, in fact, fucking hell, the weirdest thing is, Nymphetamine and Damnation and a Day, we rented those out to write the album. So we'd spent 2 weeks twice there.
Yeah.
Just near Rockfield. And it was when they were doing the place up. So still the studio was still workable. But some of the rooms were at the back.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like 9 bedrooms, 10 bedrooms. They
remember
were
them.
still doing them up. So they let us have it for a little bit cheap. But we had a great time there.
Yeah, same. That's why I brought it up, because I was like, I remember our party.
Did it flood while you were there? Because
crazy.
they built like the flood.
No, it was
tried
after
to.
that. But then I recently heard that shut down now, but it's Airbnb. It's on Airbnb.
Yeah.
So I
apparently
know a few producers that are just like, I'm just going to fucking bring a rig and Airbnb mod.
Well, that's the great thing. We were able to use that little studio. The weirdest thing about that, well, not really a weird thing, but I was just randomly looking over, you know, like when you're on a plane and you're more interested in what anybody else is watching.
Yep.
And I just looked between two headrests and I was like, what the fuck? That's Mono Valley. This woman was watching a documentary on Oasis and apparently they did a bunch of stuff there.
One last thing on the collaborations, and this is literally, again, purely for me, no one is going to care. Did you...
I hope so.
Are you aware of the Vetements t-shirt?
Yeah. We did
Is that an official collab?
We did a collaboration with them, and
God.
we're doing some weird collaborations, and that's thanks to Des Fafara and Anastasia Fafara. Des is obviously
The
Cold Chamber.
Cold Chamber Devil Driver, yeah.
Yeah. And his wife, they manage us. They have done the last 6 years. They're
really? I didn't know
amazing.
that.
Yeah. He's like one of my best friends. Great. Just a very, very good working relationship. And both of them are just so good at coming up weird and wonderful things. And so this Veteman thing came along, possibly in response to the Balenciaga thing, because they used our logo, allegedly used our logo, and
Didn't give you any of that.
nothing.
Those
And in fact,
£900
actually
t-shirts.
came back and said, no, it's just a rudimentary logo that maybe looks a little like yours.
Which is scum, because that's a 900 quid t-shirt.
So Vetements kind of went one step. I think they even released a statement where they kind of, you know, hinted at
yeah.
this is shit. But I missed, because we were on tour in Australia, but they did a big thing in Paris, you know.
Yeah.
They're doing another one, I'm not sure where it is, but in January. And they have asked me to walk the runway.
Oh my God, you have to do that.
Yeah, I know.
That's like my favourite, like, this is again.
No, I would
one
hate
cares.
it, but I'm not going to turn it down.
But that's like my favourite clothing designer right now, is what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's outrageously expensive, but I love it. I love the whole ethos. I love all of that stuff. You have to do that. Do it for me.
No, I want to do it, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
Can I have a
It'd
guest
be
list?
a wonderful
Met
experience.
you. I've just met you. Can I have a guest list? let me come. I've got 2 questions on that. Does it have the back print?
I don't know. Possibly not. Possibly. I don't know. That'd probably be another £1,000 though, putting that print on.
Yeah, that's good for everyone. Are you on a percentage of
They
that?
made a really cool dress. They're making a suit for me, actually, for the moment.
Yeah.
But they made a cool dress, and it was all out of old T-shirts. And they kind of, I think the theme was kind of reclamation.
Yeah.
And they did it in this weird old sort of desert. It looked like a deserted mall or something, because they had the models came down escalators.
Is it out of Cradle shirts? Or
The
just-
dresses,
Yeah.
out of original. They made a one-off piece. But they have done a collaboration with some other bits and pieces, which we did with Drop Dead as well, which is Holly's label.
I've got one. I've got one upstairs. I'm that guy. I'm sorry. I'm that guy. I'm a fucking sweater. I'm sorry. Can you teach me how to do the DANI FILTH scream?
I'd have to teach myself after. No, it's a trade secret.
Is it a trade secret?
Well, it says trade secret.
Is it an
It's
innie
just-
or an outie?
It's an outie.
It's an outie.
Yeah. I can't do anything.
You're so far from the mic. It must be so loud. You're so far from the mic when you do it.
I have some weird little things that I do. That's one of them, which I've noticed when I watch back on videos. I go, what the fuck? And I suddenly realised why it is. It's about attenuation with the ears. Now, I've got tinnitus in one ear. Probably because I have my highs fed into my ears.
Right.
That way it keeps like the low end on stage without reverb, which means no feedback or lessens the feedback. So getting a lot of the higher stuff straight in the ear. I was once, my daughter's 10th birthday, actually, remember that. We had a gig cancelled and we had 2 days off. And this was around San Francisco. So I flew home. I did 6 flights in 52 hours. And my hearing didn't come down. It was just still like that horrible, oh, Jesus. And I spent a whole day like that. And I was like, this is unbearable. So I went to a doctor and ear doctor, and he cut my eardrum. And being an American doctor, I think he was more interested in the cash than the repercussions of hang about, I'm wearing earphones. So basically I've got tinnitus. And so doing that is a kind of way to just get the volume just about right so it sits just without interfering. And it can be a bit loud. And I have weird things. I drink Ribena. There's no real reason for
that's your warm-up. Do you do an actual warm-up or are you just drinking Ribena?
Yeah, that's it. Sponsorship, please.
Ribena. If you're from America, which most of you are, Ribena is a delightful drink which you mix with. I don't know what they would call it. Do Americans have squash? Well, in Scotland, they just call it juice, diluting juice. In the South, it's squash. But I don't know if America has. I've never seen. It's a little bit
Kool-Aid.
of syrup. But that Kool-Aid's like a powder, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like a little bit of syrup and then you put water in it. Anyway, Ribena, banging.
My friend who was from America spent about 3 days drinking non-diluted Ribena.
Oh my God. That would give you diabetes.
Yeah, exactly. Had no idea.
Wait, you can't teach me how to do the scream? Can you do a scream for me now?
Oh, I haven't warmed up.
All right, that will fuck you up. Imagine I fuck the show up. All right.
No, I haven't really warmed up, but... Kind of. It's not you have to...
I'm a drummer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, ish. I'm not going to try it again. DANI FILTH, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thank you very much. It's been a real pleasure.
It's been fucking great. Let's get you back to the show.